So, the Steam release for Outer Wilds happened, you completed the game in a timely manner, and wondered, well, I guess I could start speedrunning the game. So, you got your Razer Mamba Elite cranked up to 16,000 DPI, maxed out your FOV like the absolute gamer you are, but where do you start? Any percent, because that's where every runner starts. Not actually, but you get the point. So this video is going to be a mechanical breakdown on the overall route and some of the specific quirks that you're going to be experiencing if you want to run the game. This is not an exact, you need to do this or you will die guide. Just go watch a run. Go watch the world record. It's below 10 minutes. So, the daunting screen of Wake Up is presented in front of you. And what do? Just wake up. Now here's the main thing you'll probably need to learn right off the bat. Branch skip. Branch skip sounds a little bit weird, but it makes sense once you actually do it. So you get up on this ledge via some trial and error and jumping. Professional Outer Wilds player. And then you can actually jump up on this branch root, or why is it called branch skip when it's fucking tree roots? So you jump up on the roots, and then you can just get up on the ledge, and then walk up to the observatory. Now, why is this faster? Well, you see, you're taking the route up that you would be taking back after getting the codes. This is also a really short way to get up to the codes. And if you have a couple brain cells and you spend a good amount of time doing this, you can actually get the launch codes and get to the mask in under a minute. That is absurd. Because this is any percent, that's not the only quirk we're going to take advantage of. But this is something that surprisingly a lot of people get confused about. There are so many goddamn comments asking the exact same thing. Why die twice? The reason is, when you're on your third loop, you can sleep at campfires, which behaves as a blind time lapse, and that allows us to get to the advanced warp core faster. It's brilliant, isn't it? So now that I explained dying twice, you need to sleep at the campfire right next to Slate for about 6 minutes and 30 seconds. 8-bit, where did you pull this arbitrary number from? It's because that's a rough estimate of how long you want to sleep before you have no time to fly to the Ash Twin and get inside the Ash Twin project. Before you enter the Ash Twin project, you should actually ram your ship under the bridge so that you can easily get back to it and the sand won't pull your ship out. But once you are inside the Ash Twin project, you basically could just jump behind you. Actually, I'd recommend you turn around first. Please turn around first. Jump behind you, and you will land on the other side where you can open up the advanced warp core. And after you grab it, you should be almost aligned with the exit. You'll want to rotate your body 90 degrees to the left so that you'll be facing the exit once you teleport back. Keep in mind 1.0.7 actually added a fucking cactus in the way, so watch out for that. Once you, hopefully, get your ship unstuck from under the bridge, look up a little bit, Dark Bramble should literally be right there. So yeah, lock on and just start zooming at Dark Bramble, and don't slow down. Keep going faster. You're gonna want to get over 1 kilometer per second. You'll be so goddamn fast, and don't worry, you'll actually be fine once you enter Dark Bramble. Just make sure you start thrusting upwards once you enter because the red node will literally be right above you. Also, make sure to align your cursor in this position, because roughly around there is where the vessel node is. So once you have that aligned and you're rotated correctly, wait a good 5 to 8 seconds once you can't see any of the anglers, and then start boosting. Once you're that far away, roughly speaking, you should not be eaten by anglerfish. Now you're in the vessel, throw the advanced warp core in the damn thing, do the codes really fast, unless you're on controller, in which I pity you, and warp to the eye. Now, once you're at the eye, for the time being, unless you just want to skip straight to doing all the advanced shit, you can warp to the eye, and you can use a mix of boost jumping to get yourself to the South Pole a little bit faster, or you can boost jump backwards while shooting the scout. This will give you a little bit of extra height and speed. And then you don't need to do all the fancy stuff to get into the eye. You just jump in. Just jump in. But the fancier method of doing, which I actually can't do, so I'm going to use the world record footage. What you can do is you can actually get yourself outside of the vessel door before you completely warp. And here's the thing, the vessel gravity is actually a separate gravity altogether. It basically is scene-wide. The vessel gravity encompasses the entire scene of the eye, and the hitbox is moved to the black hole that warps you to the eye once you actually activate the black hole. But that trigger is actually put behind the door when it's not active. Once you fly through the door, you'll most likely hit that hitbox, or that trigger, I don't actually know what it's called, and you will be in 0G. Fly out the same way you came in the vessel, and you can scout boost yourself directly to the trigger that warps you to the observatory. I shit you not, it is probably one of the greatest finds that has ever happened. And this is actually a fairly recent discovery. I'll get into the quirks of how console was able to do it before, but for now, that's how you can vessel skip, or eye skip, or eye planet. I don't fucking know. That's how you can skip that whole sequence on PC. So once you're in the Ancient Glade, this is literally downtime. You cannot do anything about this. You have to wait. But in the meantime, once you start flying downwards, roughly on the left, there's a patch of 3 trees. These are close enough so that your flashlight is actually close enough to hit all 3 when you stand in the center of that little triangle. Now, why would you want to do that? After everything goes dark and you interact with your quantum clone or whatever the fuck, that whole sequence requires that you look at a tree, turn your flashlight on and off, turn it into a quantum shard, then the next time you don't see it, it'll disappear. Once that happens 3 times, which is why you need the 3 trees, your quantum clone whatever will spawn in. Then you just fly directly towards him, do some fancy shenanigans with your mouse so that you can get all the trees and get Esker in, and then go to Rybek's Banjo. Now, you could absolutely just spam your flashlight as fast as you can, but I wouldn't recommend doing this because quantum stuff needs just a little bit of time to actually update. So you get Rybek's Banjo, fly back, spam the 3 dialogue options. It is very explicit. You only press E 3 times. You can accidentally re-engage dialogue like it's a fucking Pokemon Center and you're just tired of Nurse Joy being slow as fuck at healing your goddamn Pokemon. So then the route from this point on is Feldspar's harmonica, Gabbro's flute, and Chert's drums. Fly to Feldspar, there's nothing really special here. Then you're gonna walk over to Gabbro, and this is pretty interesting. You're gonna wanna learn where those 2 tall trees are, because we're not gonna do the whole quantum poem. We're literally just gonna jump exactly where the trees are and grab his flute. Fly down to Chert's drums, and just collect them how you normally would. Also nothing too special here. Fly back, do the dialogue as fast as you can, but again, don't spam, just like quantum stuff. Spamming as fast as you can is actually a little bit slower. At least from my experience. If it works for you, then cool. And now there's 2 things you can do while you wait for them to finish their wholesome, happy song. You can either get on top of the fog sphere and then hold thrust downwards so that you'll immediately go in, or you can stand from underneath, which is, technically speaking, faster if you do it right. You jump and boost in right as their song finishes, and there you go. Nah, just kidding. Oh, hold up, stop it right there. At this exact moment, make sure you press pause on your timer, because it's over a year and we still don't have an auto splitter, but this is when the run ends. So good job, you just finished a run on PC, but what about console? Well, I'm mostly going to be talking from the point of Xbox. PlayStation, even though I am an Xbox pleb, I'm not really dissing PlayStation as a console. I'm saying the PlayStation version of the game actually just fucking sucks. Almost as much as the Xbox version, but PlayStation version sucks, and there's literally only 1 verified run on the leaderboards for a PlayStation run. So, yeah. I will be talking from the reference point of Xbox, and there is a little quirk you can take advantage of that is Xbox exclusive. Now from this point on, the run is pretty much exactly the same except for the following. At the very start of the run, you don't actually have to do branch skip. You heard me right, you don't have to do that annoying as fuck skip, which I'm gonna suggest we start calling it roots. So yeah, if you had no idea what just happened, well, I'm gonna try to boil it down to simplified terms. This is effectively orientation manipulation. When you look at the map, you can see all the planets are rotating on a 2D plane, even though it's a 3D world. They're all on this flat 2D plane. And for some reason, when you open the Xbox menu, your orientation actually gets reset so that you are upright on this plane. The village on Timberhearth is located on the equator. So when you open the Xbox menu, your body rotates 90 degrees. And if you jump and press it at the right time, your feet will actually be put on the ledge. Now keep in mind, this is only about a second or two faster than branch skip, but it is way easier to pull off than branch skip. Now here's the other part of the run that is quite interesting. This game is very physics heavy with all the physics calculations and all that, and because of that, consoles can't quite handle 60 frames per second and 60 Hz for the physics rate. Because of that, it's been boiled down to 30 FPS and a physics rate of 30 Hz. Because of that, we can actually take advantage of this. If you're going at a flat surface, probably faster than what it takes to kill you normally, you can actually clip through. It's because we're moving in between a physics rate update, and it can't quite check for collision fast enough, so we just pass on through. This is taken advantage of on the vessel. Now, of course, you can do the newfound vessel skip on console as well, but back before we discovered it, console had this advantage for a while, where you simply had just enough room to move fast enough to slam yourself into the door of the vessel and go straight through. And you would even hit the trigger to disable vessel gravity. Other than those two things, the console run is pretty much the same. Again, this is just a breakdown of some mechanical quirks. If you actually want to know proper routing of like the exact route you need to go, just watch runs. And that's about it. I might do other runs like this for any percent sleepless, or destroy space-time percent, or marshmallow percent, or just other runs. I'm probably going to do a video like this for sleepless, but I cannot guarantee other categories. I'm just going to leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Stop asking why we die twice.